Hey everybody, it's Wendy. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about embossing paste tips with the Cake Soiree bundle. This bundle that I'm going to show you is not available for purchase until January 3rd, but I'm doing a lot of sneak peeking here. So you're going to be seeing a lot of new products on my blog the rest of the month. And here is the Cake Soiree stamp set. And then these are the sweet cake framelits. And then these are the new masks for embossing paste or sponging, whatever you wanted to use them for. But I'm going to use them for embossing paste today because another new item that's coming is the new embossing paste, and I'll show you those in a minute. So here's the tools that I'm going to use. I've got my palette knives. You always need to have some re-inkers if you want to dye your embossing paste. I have my wet wipes, and then I have this acrylic palette that I use to do all my mixing on. So this is the new embossing paste. You can see I've already used quite a bit of it. It doesn't come, by the way, these don't come full. Like, I haven't used any out of this one, so I'm going to show it to you, hopefully, if I can get the topper off here. But they don't come full to the brim because they need air inside to expand. And I learned that from my friend Christy, who's a chemistry teacher, and so anything sciencey she can always explain for me. But there needs to be air in the package. So that's why these don't come full to the brim, just so you know when you get it and you're not like, what is happening here? Why is this, not have as much paste in it as I think it should? The other embossing paste is a glitter, and as you saw, that one was just a silver. And so when you add color to the glitter, you get any color you want. Glittery. It's wonderful. So I stamped in Tangerine Tango and Bermuda Bay. When I went and sat down and created a bunch of stuff, I tried to use colors that were complementary colors, so opposite on the color wheel, so that they would pair nicely together. So here I've got Tangerine Tango, which is kind of an orange, and the Bermuda Bay, which is a blue. It's kind of a bluish green, but it's pretty blue looking. And so I have my Bermuda Bay re-inker, and excuse me, yawning right in the middle of my video. Apparently I'm very boring. So I'm going to mix in my re-inker with the embossing paste to get that beautiful blue that Bermuda Bay always provides. It just is gorgeous. I love Bermuda Bay. It's one of my very favorite colors. And then I use my other palette knife to kind of scrape off the embossing paste that's not getting in there and mixing in, and mix that in. Now you can darken your embossing paste to make it as dark as you want it by adding more drops. If you wanted to lighten it, you would simply add more embossing paste to tone down the color. So you can go either way. So today, the first thing that we're going to do here is I'm going to add some polka dots to this cake. And the polka dots are going to be this textured raised embossing paste. One of the things that I really love about this is that it doesn't matter what color you stamp in. With embossing paste, it's thick and solid enough that it just covers right over it. So you're not going to see any of that Tangerine Tango peeking through the paste like you would if you were to stamp the dots in blue over the top. So you can get away with putting a lighter color over the top with this because it's a medium that will cover what's underneath. Now, here are my tips for embossing paste. As you can see, I picked this up on the back of this palette knife, and then I started spreading it around. You want to try to spread your embossing paste really thin and even. So you can see here I'm picking it up off the mask actually and wiping it back onto the board. And then when you peel away your mask, you want to lift straight up and away. And that will prevent any crazy stuff happening. So I set that one aside to dry, and I moved right on to my roses. So this same mask has these awesome roses, and I wanted to have orange and blue roses because in my world I can have those if I want to. Actually, in the real world there are orange roses, but I don't think I've ever seen a blue rose. So you can see me often reaching up and wiping, and I'm wiping this knife onto a baby wipe. Here's another tip about embossing paste. It is a glue, basically. So when you use it, and I'm speeding the video way up here because this video was originally 30 minutes long, so I had to do some speeding up and cutting out. So when you use this paste, you see here I'm using the baby wipe to really clean this mask before I use it with the blue. And that's obvious because I don't want to mix the two colors. Also, when you're using embossing paste, because it is like a glue, if you don't clean your tools and your masks pretty much immediately, it will stick to it and you darn near cannot get it off. I mean, I've not been able to when it gets on certain things. Now, there's some stuff that seems like it cleans off of easier than others, but these masks, it does not want to come off. So with this mask here, this is the little vine mask, and this mask comes in a set. So both of the masks that I'm using come in a set in one package, and you'll be able to easily find them in the new Occasions catalog, which, by the way, I'm mailing those out next week. So if you're already a customer of mine, you'll automatically get one for free in the mail. If you're not a customer, I really would love it if you would request a catalog from me, and I'd be happy to send you one. So now I'm going over these vines and really evenly spreading this Bermuda Bay. And then I'm going to clean my knife and go into my Tangerine Tango and add it to the mask. And I'm going to kind of start from the bottom and work my way up, trying not to actually get the Tangerine Tango and the Bermuda Bay mixing too much. The reason for that is they are complementary colors, which means if they mix too much, it's going to make a really ugly brown muddy color. So I think that I was able to pull it off because the Tangerine Tango has enough red in it and the Bermuda Bay has enough blue in it that it didn't quite go ugly muddy color in the middle, but it could have been really bad if I mixed it too much. So that's why here you see me trying really hard not to over mix the two in the middle. Have to mix them some because we want them to blend, but over mixing them would really cause the colors to start looking ugly. So then I'm taking my knife from the top and scraping all the way down, which just does some final blending in the center. And it also scrapes away all that excess paste that I really don't want on there. So when I lift this up, I just am going to hold down on the cardstock and pull away, and it's beautiful, and I'll show it to you in a second. Don't worry. So now I'm going to go back to stamping, and I'm going to stamp this awesome sentiment right below this card, and that pretty much will complete this card. I'll put a little mat behind it. I'm going to use a Copic marker, a gray Copic marker, to add a little bit of shading under the cake to just ground it. There's that other one I made. And then these are the three that got made. So they're beautiful. You can see all the shimmery, shiny, and I really, really love how all three of them turned out. Now I wanted to show you some other stuff that I worked on and created because they're just gorgeous. I just love them. First, my daughter did these. We tried to add some ink to that silver and it did not work out well, so I wouldn't recommend that. And then my daughter sat and did these as well. She had a good time sitting and playing with the embossing paste that was left over. Okay, so I created this card. From the moment I saw this mask, I felt like it looked like seaweed, so I created that one. And you can see the shading here under that cake. I'm going very fast, aren't I? And then my roses, and I added lemon lime twist for my leaves and just stamped those leaves using a leaf out of the stamp set. And here's another cake where I added embossing paste candles and the bottom there. And then these cakes are my favorite, even though I don't really have any weddings to attend or give to. I colored them with Copic markers and put them up on pedestals and popped them up off the card. So really simple, easy cards, but they're very elegant, very pretty. I had a lot of fun designing them. Okay, if you'd like to see more videos from me, you can click on either one of the videos you see here and take you to that video. Click on the little circle with my face in it and you will be subscribed to my YouTube channel. You can always shop online at shoplevinstampin.com or at levinstampin.com. All the supplies I used today are listed in the video below. Thanks so much.